Hello everyone, this is a battery clock repair. It actually came off fairly easily from the metal pedestal. And the root cause, as you'll see here, is this PC board, and you can see that discolored pad. That pad got corroded, possibly just from time or maybe a little battery leakage from an old battery that eventually got on there. As a result, there was very high contact resistance or corrosion that actually prevented any of the voltage from the battery going to the circuit. So the solution here and the hope is that after taking apart the black cap, to get into this board and to clean it up. And you'll see just me kind of scratching away the corrosion on that coating with contact cleaner, and then I'll also follow up with a little lubricant contact cleaner to kind of hopefully keep that sealed a little longer. In general, there seems to be two types of replacement clocks. One that has this PC board, as you see here, and the other one that's a little more, I guess, mechanical with their connections. So this PC board one is usually a little more successful in trying to fix. For the PC board, you'll notice that there's two metal tabs. That's actually where the battery provides the voltage for that circuit board. So make sure that contact is clean is very important. And you'll see here sped up me just kind of scrubbing and cleaning off that area, a little scraping now and again, and then some brushing just to keep that area nice and clean back and forth. If you have more time, letting the chemicals soak seems to do the trick. And you'll see me trying to line up those two tabs to the pads that are on the circuit board. And now the real goal is just to make sure that that little white gear with the magnet attached to it spins. And you kind of see it here. It's very hard. You'll see a little jiggle and my little thumbs up there that it is actually spinning. So now the whole point here will be to clean everything else up and put everything back together, which does take a while. Here's the lubricant contact cleaner that I have. Kind of does gives a little coating on the surfaces to make sure they kind of don't rust. And trying to do a little final assembly here, but I did lose track of the gearing and how it all comes together. So what was important to learn on this one is there's actually a metal main shaft that connects to the seconds hand, and that's what was missing from my initial repair here. So you'll see me putting it together, but then trying to struggle with getting all the gears back because I didn't have a shaft to hold one of them. So as we go through these steps, if you're attempting to do this repair, make sure that you keep track of all the items that you have to make it a little more faster repair. And again, a usual better alternative is to just simply buy a new unit. They're commonly available at craft stores. Just make sure you bring the old one to get the sizing right. In general, they all fit basically the same. But there are kind of two variants in that respect too. There's a nut end on the shaft version, and then there's also a press fit style. So make sure you have the right style that'll made up to your clock. Otherwise, you might have to make some modifications here. So again, it gets very tricky. All these parts are very small, and a key element is to also make sure that that back plate lines up. That's the final kind of gearbox holder to hold all those little shafts on those gears. So it's critical that we have all those things working together. In this case, the case was cracked, compromising the structure a little bit, but it still did come together and work in the end. So as you'll see here, I'll just be fiddling with the assembly until I figure it out, and then we'll do the final test. And here you'll see my eureka moment where I discovered the shaft of the second hand, which is actually what holds that teal gear in place. And now that I figured that out, I can complete the assembly and we can start to close this up. Something to note here is that these clock mechanisms really only fit in one particular way. So it's kind of like a little puzzle here. You really can't put it in the wrong spot. It may be frustrating at first, but eventually you'll figure out that the gearing only connects one way to actually make this thing connect and align properly. So have no fear if you have everything come apart, as happened on me, that you can eventually figure it out with some patience. Now with the final assembly together, I'm going to put it together and hopefully you could hear the actual ticking as I do on this next little video clip to make sure that it is in fact working. Sorry for the background noise, but basically you should be able to hear the ticking. That's the ticking of the magnet with the gear on it that actually starts to move the second hand. And it seems like we have a working clock. I did notice though that the second hand does seem to move slow, so I'm worried that it might be somehow skipping a second now and again if you very carefully kind of watch the video there. So the goal was to kind of set it and then see what the timing was. Hopefully it worked a little better than it did before, but long term we may need to consider a full replacement on this unit. And to get the clock back into the stand was a simple metal clip that just kind of slides into that ring. Hopefully this video was helpful and you can use it when trying to actually get into the guts of one of these clock mechanisms. Thank you.